Nate is in Vermont. Hi, Nate. Welcome to the EntreLeadership Podcast.
Hi, how you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hi, so I'm a small dairy farmer. We gross a little bit over $300,000, and it's myself and 2 part-time employees. My question is it better for us to keep specializing and growing in our current field of dairy farming, or try and diversify and branch out as a way to further build profit?
Okay, so the question is whether to diversify or whether to go horizontal or vertical. I mean, you're explain to me an example of what you're talking about. Let me make sure I get my head around this.
Well, the idea is there's several different opportunities that are in front of us right now to do some extra custom cropping and get into that pretty substantially. And there's also some opportunities for us to get into some agritourism, and we're trying to grow the overall farm business, and trying to grow the dairy is something that we can do and we're kind of looking at, but we're kind of caught between, well, is growing the herd and growing the whole dairy farm the best way to use what little capital that I have, or is it a better use of my own time and money to try and diversify the operation, I guess, and go into that in a little bit of that direction.
Okay, I've got a friend that's a neighbor of mine that has several hundred acres, and he runs a boutique dairy situation and makes some of the best farm-to-table quality stuff, very high-end. They charge for it proudly, and they should. It's very good. So high-end, like their chocolate milk will just light your life up. It's amazing, right? That kind of stuff. It sounds like that's the type of thing you're doing. And then the question is, do you just want to have more cows and more volume, or do you want to create a tourist stop to let human beings see where milk comes from and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of summing it up.
Okay, I'm just making sure I got my head around the concept, because he's doing a little of both. Actually got a documentary done on him and stuff like that. He's a brilliant business guy, and so I've gotten to watch him from a distance. They again, just real high quality products, a little storefront, and all the little suburban yuppies or whatever we call them go by and think they're cool because they get like real milk instead of grocery store milk, and you know what I'm talking about, and at double the price or whatever. And I don't know what it is, but it's more expensive, but it's really good stuff. So but the storefront has become a thing, and now they've got a bed and breakfast next door, and so they're kind of getting in the tourist idea of people coming around, seeing a farm, staying on the farm in a log cabin, and that kind of stuff. That's the type of way you're talking about going, or just make the herd bigger? Which one do you want to do?
Well, we like the idea of offering this expanded service to the community and diversifying, and I love my cows and I love what I do. And
they're hard work.
Doing more of it is, economy in agriculture, economies of scale is a very real thing. And
don't you kind of reach a tipping point though that you've got to go like, 200 is not double what 100 is. You got to go all the way to 1,000 to really get head of cattle to really get in a dairy to really get some movement, don't you?
Oh yeah, there's definitely inflection points.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Once you cross the line,
like robotics and all of that, right?
Exactly. And there's one problem where, I'm only 33, but I've been around enough to see other operations, not just in dairy, but other farming enterprises where they try and do a whole suite of a whole bunch of different things, and they end up falling flat on their face.
Yeah. You don't need to get in the jelly and the honey business. You're in the milk business. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Unless you're distributing someone else's. I mean, but yeah, it's a whole different manufacturing operation, the whole thing. I've watched that happen too. I know what you're talking about. Well, the whole farm to table movement, and certainly Vermont, you guys have a vibe for all of this, and the whole boutique farming operation that I've been describing and that you're doing as well makes sense. I don't know much about it other than I think I've just told you everything in the last 10 minutes I know about it, so I'm pretty ignorant about it. But the other thing I am sure of, just observing, is that those cows don't take a vacation, and farming is hard work, and dairy farming is particularly hard work every morning, every night. Doesn't care if it's Christmas, doesn't care if your wife wants to go to the Bahamas, doesn't matter. Those cows got to be milked. And it's a thing. And more of that sounds like more hard work. And I kind of hear in your voice you would rather diversify the exposures, like with the agrituro or whatever you call it, agritourist or whatever you call that stuff. But just, giving people access to this and seeing it and paying and doing the bed and breakfast or doing the whatever, and let them participate in the milking. I don't know, whatever it is, but that you do there. But your version of a dude ranch or whatever. But all of that stuff, it sounds like you, just listening to your voice when you're talking about it, it sounds like I don't want 200 head versus 100 head. That sounds like a lot, double the work or triple the work. I think I'd rather go the other way. I think I hear diversification in your voice. Am I missing something?
I think you are hearing that, yeah. I guess the biggest concern that we have is how do you add enterprises to your existing operation without having your head explode?
Well, you've got to bring on talent in those areas. For instance, if you did some of the stuff we're talking about, you're bringing on not farm hands, but people from the hospitality world that have run. If you're going to put in a little thing and serve, biscuits in the morning with your milk products or whatever, I don't know what it is, but I mean, a little country store type of a restaurant type thing, then you need restaurant people and hospitality people, not farm hands, because your head will explode trying to do all these different things. But you can bring on people that can do the lifting and bring knowledge base to you on stuff you don't know how to do, and still be the owner and still lead them successfully in these different product lines as you diversify out, with different cash flow sources as you diversify out. And in a sense, that's what we've done at Ramsey. I mean, this started as selling books and Financial Peace University. And later on, the radio show got profitable or got big enough that we could actually sell ads because somebody cared. And so then we had 3 streams of revenue. And then we started doing more events. We had 4 streams of revenue. And then we did a high school curriculum. And then we did EntreLeadership. And so, right now we've diversified into about 14 different streams of revenue. But they all come back to the core of providing biblically based common sense and education, which provides hope. Then we all come back to that core mission statement. And that, as long as you got a core that you're attached to, you can bring the talent in, lead into them, through them, and you'll have some false starts. You're starting little bit miniature businesses, and some of them will suck. And they all look good at first, but later on they get ugly in some cases, and you got to, that didn't work. And I've got more stories, by the way, that didn't work than did work. But all you guys know me for the ones that did work, because we survived the ones that didn't work, because we didn't do them with debt. We didn't overhire. We were slow, plodding, not racehorse. We're not going to be on the cover of Fast Company magazine. We're going to be on the cover of Slow Company magazine, and just plod your way through that. But that's your nature anyway. You're in agriculture, so you're not ever looking for the quick win. There's no such thing as a quick win in agriculture. It's always a grind, but it's always much more predictable and steady. So, man, you're a hardworking dude, Nate. I like it. You got great imagination, and I think you got your head in the right space on this. I would go forward if I were you. I think this absolutely works. Good stuff.